Hello, everybody.
Hi, hello. Wait, second. Oh, stop share. Yay, here we are. Hi, everybody.
It is 8 o'clock in Spain, which means that the session is about to start.
Can you hear us? Please say something in the chat if you can hear us. Otherwise, we are just talking to ourselves.
All of the mics are
yes,
perfect.
Perfect.
All right. So, first of all, we would like to start with some housekeeping stuff.
Yeah. Again, I'm gonna share our screen.
Have we got a slide for that?
We do. Voilà. Oh, wait, sorry. Yeah.
So before we start, there are a couple of things we want to talk about. First of all, you can turn off your camera if you want, because this event is going to be recorded, but it doesn't really matter because we tried it before. It's the first time we organized it in Zoom, and we thought that maybe your faces would be recorded as well, but that is not the case. So you can leave your camera on, but it doesn't really matter if you turn it off. The questions, if you have any questions, it's a Q&A, so we would prefer that you ask questions, of course. You can ask them in the chat. That's why the chat is there. Of course, we don't really think that we have to mention this, but we mention it anyway. Hate speech is not allowed, and indecent behavior definitely isn't either. And this will result in immediately removal from our Zoom conference.
And we're going to end with something fun.
Of course. Let's make this a fun event.
Yay! Okay, now stop, share. It's the first time we do this with Zoom, so sorry if we look unprepared and everything. All right, here we are. Cool.
If you have been in one of our previous Q&As, you already know how this works. We just start talking, and whenever you have a question, you just drop it in the chat and we will reply to it. And in that way, we hope to engage in some kind of conversation.
So you don't have to wait until the end of the session.
You definitely don't have to wait until the end.
So the reason why we wanted to do a live Q&A end of the year. First of all, it's because it's almost the end of the year. And also, what a year, 2020. Oh my God, what was it? I don't know about you guys, but it was weird, it was strange, it was awesome, it was fun, it was, yeah. It was everything. I think I've been to all the stages of emotions in 1 year. It was crazy. It was really crazy.
Definitely was a crazy year.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Nothing that we had planned. It was the first year of Naked Wanderings that we actually had planned a lot in front. Normally we just go with the flow, but this year we thought, okay, we're gonna go to this place and that place, and nothing really happened.
No.
None of our plans actually came true. It was crazy.
Yeah, it started pretty awesome, to be honest, because we were in Utila on a little island in Honduras, and I was doing my dive master course there. I just finished, so I had my first dive on January the 1st, and I did it naked. And honestly, it's the best thing I've ever did naked. It was awesome. Like, skinny dipping is great, but scuba diving naked, oh my God, like feeling the bubbles all over your body. It was great. So yeah, so it happened. And that was the start of 2020. So we thought, okay, awesome year, 2020, let's go for it. Yeah.
Well, it continued because we went in January, we went to the Nudist festival in Zipolite. It's one of the largest nudist festivals in the world right now. It was the first time we went there. It was amazing. The coolest thing was that we saw friends from all over the world. We met up with friends from California, from Canada. Hector was there, Hector Martinez from Mexico. We met lots and lots of new people. It was a great event, one of the best nudist events that we have ever been to.
Yeah, and we even stayed there in Zipolite like for 4 weeks after the festival. Yeah, because we just love Zipolite. It's one of our most amazing places we've ever been.
Definitely one of our most favorite places.
Yeah, absolutely. And after that, our plan was to go to Cuba. And actually, we made it into Cuba. That was because the virus was already in the world. It was starting to pick up in China. But we thought, yeah, okay. I think a lot of people had that feeling like, okay, the coronavirus is just a flu and maybe it's not a big deal. Well, I'm talking at the beginning of this year. Maybe it's just a flu, it's not a big deal. And also Cuba announced like, hey, Cuba is still safe. Come to Cuba. We are welcome. We are welcoming you into our country, into our island. So come. So okay, yeah, we came. We went to Cuba, and it was great, to be honest. Not a lot of people. But it was great, except after 3 days.
After about 3 days.
Yeah, after about 3 days, we were sitting outside in a bar drinking something, and there was a huge television screen. And the president announced that all the foreigners had to leave the island within 24 hours. So there we sat with a beer in our hands, with the Cuban sun on our faces, like, wow, okay, this is happening. Yeah, that was scary.
When Corona hit us.
Yeah. It was scary, honestly. It was really scary. I don't know if you've been to Cuba, but Cuba is great, but it's a small island and you don't have a lot of options for grocery shopping or hotels or Airbnbs options in Cuba. So for us, it was like, yeah, okay, what are we gonna do? Yeah.
Well, the government said that it was they asked the tourists to leave the island, and we also thought that would be the smartest choice, especially because we didn't know how long the pandemic would take. We thought like a month or so, but even we didn't want to stay a month in Cuba without any other tourists. So we decided to leave, which happened to be the smartest choice we could take.
Yeah, we wanted to get off the island. Yeah.
But let's just jump to the questions, because there are questions. Gert asks if there's a big difference between nudism in Europe and in other continents. There definitely is. It's for us, it has been the most beautiful thing of our whole travels, is just to see those differences. To start with, in Europe, it's considered the birth month of naturism and nudism, and it's very well accepted. At least in Western Europe, it's an accepted way of living. Most people are not afraid to tell their friends or their parents that they are going on a naked vacation. There are naturist resorts everywhere, and there are a lot of them, especially if you think of Spain, France, Croatia, even Netherlands, Belgium. Lots of nude beaches, and the general term is naturism. In Europe, when you talk about nudism, it has a bit of an undertone, which leans towards exhibitionism.
Yeah.
Another very used term is FKK. It's German for Freie Körperkultur, if I pronounce it well.
Yeah.
It means
we are not German, so sorry for.
It means free body culture, and it's an old term, but it's still used a lot, especially in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Croatia.
Yeah.
But then, for us, the weirdest thing happened when we crossed the Atlantic, and we went to the USA, and suddenly everybody was a nudist. Everybody talked about nudism. Naturism was not really a common term in the USA.
No.
Which was strange for us.
Yeah.
But then again, in Canada, it was naturism again. In Mexico, it was nudism again. And that was mostly because the term naturism was already in use. Like naturism in Mexico is pretty new, nudism. And the ecological movement had hijacked the term naturism, which was pretty cool. We took pictures in front of a naturist shop.
Tienda Naturista.
Tienda Naturista. But it has nothing to do with naturism. It's just
unfortunately.
It's about biological living, biological soap, those kind of things.
There is an overlap if you think about it. There is a little overlap, except the nudity, of course.
And another big difference that we saw is like in Europe and also in the United States, the naturist is most of the naturists are white and Christian, or at least, or not religious, and slightly older, the older generations. And then we moved to Asia, and there, of course, people are colored for one thing. We met people of all kinds of religions, and which surprised us quite a lot is that there were quite a lot of Muslims, especially from Malaysia. The official religion in Malaysia is Muslim, and there are quite a lot of Malaysian naturists, which is cool. And also they are young in Asia. It's also a new movement, just like in Mexico.
In South America in general.
Yeah, in South America in general. Yeah. And it's mostly adapted by young people. And we were talking about that with the president of the Thai Federation lately. And he said that they actually have a problem attracting older people into naturism. Like they would like to have some of the older generation into naturism because everybody is younger. Yeah. Which is, it's great. For us, it's awesome to see like the different ways naturism has been adapted, the different ways it's been experienced.
And also for us, the term really doesn't mean anything. Well, it's not that big of a value anymore because we are used to using the term naturist, nudist all together because it means the same thing. It just depends on which side of the world you are. So yeah, that's cool.
So there's definitely a big difference.
Okay. Is naked scuba diving accepted as mainstream by most dive clubs? It is. And also, it is a tradition when you reach your 100 dive that you do it naked. So yeah, I was really looking forward to my 100 dive to do it naked. And ever since that, there's no stopping to it anymore. But yeah, it's a tradition. So in most clubs, it's fine. Yeah.
And it's also like scuba divers, they are like surfers. They are relaxed people. So at most clubs, if you just ask them, like, I would like to do a naked dive, I think many will say, okay, like if you really want to do that, don't worry, just give it a try. Of course, it has to be safe.
Of course.
When the water is too cold and you normally wear a dry suit, they will never allow it. But if it's a safe dive, I think they will.
And you have to watch out for jellyfish and stuff like that, and lionfish and everything. But yeah, if you do it safely, then it's fine in most countries. Yeah. Okay, Ukraine is here as well.
Chris is here.
Hi, Chris.
Hello, Chris. Chris is one of the people we just talked about that we met on the Zipolite Festival. I mean, we met him before in Barracks, but we saw him again in Zipolite.
How are you able to finance all your traveling? I think that's one of the most asked questions on Naked Wanderings. Yeah, it's a good question as well.
We started with saving a lot of money because we wanted to go on a big trip for several years and we wanted to be financially sustainable. So we worked very hard for a long time and we just saved everything we could. But of course, with Naked Wanderings growing, we got opportunities. At the moment, we work together with quite a lot of naturist businesses because we can provide advertising for them. We are Naked Wanderings is one of the biggest naturist websites in the world. We can be honest about that. Yeah. And online marketing is a big thing. Especially because Google advertising, Facebook advertising doesn't allow naturist places to apply because it doesn't allow nudity. So they don't really have great places to advertise on. And we are a great option for them to advertise. So we get money from that side.
I want to add something to that. We only promote the places we've actually been. So we don't promote places that we don't know or, that's it. Yeah, that we don't know. We only write about the places we've been and that we have a good feeling and that we want to share with the rest of the world. So
Definitely.
A big side note as well.
And on the other side, we have our Patreon account.
Yeah.
It's growing into a community.
It's cool.
And they give us lots and lots of support.
Yeah.
Like thanks to them, we can do this kind of things, these online events. There are many more online events coming. You will hear about that later in the show. But it's we get some kind of income from all sides. We still have some savings left, which we had to use quite a lot because of COVID. It wasn't expected, but yeah, shit happens.
Yeah.
But that's a bit how we earn money and how we can keep financing our travels.
And you can buy amazing stuff in our shop as well, and our guides and our masks and our books and everything like that. But yeah, we are not rich, but hey, we are rich in
experiences.
Yes, indeed.
And in the end, that's the most important.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to be rich. We don't need to have a lot of money. We don't have a house. We don't have a car. Who
cares?
We just live, and that's for us. It's the best way of living.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Do we have more questions in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, Rolf is here as well. Welcome back, Rolf. I remember you've been in the previous Q&A as well.
And John asked us one thing I haven't yet found in 30 plus years as a naturist in the USA, a nude place to rent jet skis. By chance, do you know of one?
We haven't seen any, I think.
No.
I think your best bet would be one of the more fancy resorts in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I would guess maybe couples resorts rents out jet skis, but we are not sure at all.
Yeah, no. Couples, yeah, maybe. The sandals, maybe. Yeah, a good question. We're gonna look into that.
And we just see that Gerardo is here as well. It's another person we have met in Zipolite on the festival. So we're not telling you lies. You know, there are really a lot of people we met and a lot of friends who we've seen again at the Zipolite festival.
Yeah, it's cool. But we were in Cuba.
We were in Cuba and we had to flee the island.
Yeah. So we were looking for opportunities and we were looking for flights as well. And our best flight off the island was back to Mexico.
We basically had two options. Either pay, I think, 2,500 euros a person to fly to Paris, which was at the time in complete lockdown. Or we could pay 100 euros a person to fly to Mexico, where everything was still open. So guess what we chose?
Mexico it was.
But we felt that it was coming. The virus had crossed the ocean. It was already in the United States. There were cases in Mexico. So we knew that it wouldn't take long before also Mexico would close its doors and there would be some kind of lockdown. So we contacted some friends in Zipolite, and we actually went back to where we came from a month earlier.
Yeah. First we called home. Yeah, that was the first thing that we did. Like, okay, is it okay for friends and family, especially family, if we stay here in Mexico? And our parents were like, hey, just do whatever you need to do and make sure that you feel safe, that you are in a safe environment, because nobody had any idea what COVID would do with the world. And because we had friends in Zipolite, we knew that they were very careful with everything and with the measurements, and we would have our own little apartment far away from any contact. And then we went back to Zipolite. We stayed there for 3 months. First, we went into self-quarantine for 2 weeks. The people from Casablanca were so nice. They went grocery shopping for us when we arrived, and we had a whole little package in front of our door with all the necessary things to survive for 14 days. And then we went into self-quarantine. 14 days.
It was a bit double, because we know that Zipolite is a very fragile community. People are not rich, and lots of them don't have access to social security or hospitals. And we knew that we were carrying a risk because we had been on airplanes, we had been in Cuba.
Yeah.
So we told our hosts that, okay, we want to come, we want to arrive, and we just want to go in quarantine for 14 days to make sure that we don't infect anybody before we get out, before it's sure that we don't have COVID. And they took care of everything, which was really amazing.
Yeah. And in the meantime, during those 14 days, they shut down the whole village. So nobody could enter or leave except you were living there at the moment of the lockdown. And there was no virus there at that moment. So which was pretty good.
In fact, we had to become temporary residents of Visibility. So we have become residents of Mexico, which it's kind of awesome in a way, at least for us.
So yeah, that was Mexico.
That was Mexico.
3 months.
Just to jump in, the very friendly guy from ANP Paris, who we happen to know as well, asks what our plans are for 2021. We will get to that in a couple of minutes. So that was Mexico, but we thought we were going to be in Zipolite for a month, maybe a month and a half, and then the whole epidemic would go away. But it didn't. No. And we stayed in Mexico until we got the message that Europe was going out of lockdown, and was open for travel again, because we didn't want to go back to Belgium. The only place we could return to before was Belgium, our home country, but we didn't really want to go there.
And also, we don't have a place anymore in Belgium. So friends and family were not very keen to, well, they were not standing there with open arms. Hey, of course, come into my house. Maybe you have the virus or not. Hey, come in. So because we don't have a home, it was difficult for us to make decisions as well. So yeah, the moment that Europe was out of lockdown, we went to Europe.
Yeah. And the choice was difficult because the first idea before COVID was a thing. Our plan was to go to Europe and travel through many countries. We wanted to go back to Croatia. We wanted to go through Germany. We wanted to visit a part of the UK. We wanted to go back to Spain, back to France. But that didn't really seem like a smart idea. No. Most of all because we already lost half of the summer. And secondly, borders could open and close at any moment. So we chose the very smart choice of going to France, because even if France, everything was regulated in regions. So if one region closes, we could just drive around it and go to another region. The naturism is so well spread in France. There are more than 100 campgrounds. So we could easily skip one region and just go to another and still travel for 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, and also we wanted to do it more or less safe. So we just hired a car and we wanted to sleep in our own tents. Because we didn't want to use accommodation or that we were in contact with a lot of other people. So we did that. It was weird as well. It's been a long time since we've been traveling in a tent.
We've never felt so safe.
No, it's true.
Like, it was really safe. We were in nature the whole summer. We were staying in a tent. We were cooking our own food. Naturist campgrounds always have lots of space.
That's true. So that's absolutely true.
You never get close to other people. The most places we visited had excellent regulations. They had social distancing. They had soap everywhere. Yeah. So we felt really, really safe.
Yeah, we felt really safe. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah. And that was a great thing about the summer. But of course, the summer ends. And then what? So we returned to Belgium. Because it was
September?
Yeah, late September.
Yeah, late September, yeah.
Because my godchild did his communion, so we had a party, and then the whole country closed down again.
Yeah, it was just between 2 lockdowns. Yeah. It was small gathering. I think we were still allowed 15 people to join in one room. Yeah. We were only with 10, so it was really good. It was outside as well. We had a beautiful day.
As a reference, now it's 3 people in Belgium. So
3, still 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it was lockdown again, and then we were in Belgium, no home. So we just we rented out an Airbnb in Belgium in our hometown in Ghent. Yeah, that was funny as well. Yeah. Yeah.
But it got cold in Belgium. As in, like, it gets cold in Belgium and dark and rainy and cloudy. And we were thinking, like, we are here and we are here in an Airbnb, as we do everywhere else in the world. We are not allowed to see our family.
No.
So what's the use
Yeah.
that we stay here? Maybe we can find a better place. That's how we ended up in Spain.
Yeah.
So right now we are still in Spain. Things didn't exactly go as we had hoped, because we were planning to fly to Alicante and then quickly travel down through Andalusia.
Mm-hmm.
But Andalusia closed down just right before we got here.
Yeah.
So now we are almost a month later, and we are still in Spain, still in Alicante, or close by. We are in Finestrat, just south of Benidorm.
Yeah.
Which is cool because we are on walking distance from a beautiful nude beach.
Yeah.
And the weather is still agreeable. It's not as warm anymore as it was when we arrived, but still it's like 15 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
So
when the wind is coming from the sea, it's perfect.
Yeah.
And also because the nude beach is in a little, how do you say that in English?
In a cove.
In a cove. So you are out of the wind, so it's perfect to go naked. And of course there was water, and of course I had to get in. So I did some snorkeling, which it was cold the first 5 minutes, but it was great to see and to be back in the water and to see all the wildlife from the ocean. Yeah, I love the ocean, by the way, and I just love water. And every time I see water, I just need to jump in. But yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Also, we stay inside most of the times. Social distancing is really the norm here in Spain. Everybody is wearing a face mask. It's obligatory.
Obligatory. As soon as you leave the house.
Yeah, as soon as you leave the house. Everybody is really, really doing everything to keep the virus out here in Spain, which is really good to see. It's not the case in Belgium, to be honest. People are nagging and why do I need to wear a face mask? Why do I need to keep my social distance? Blah, blah, blah. And then we arrive here in Spain, and it's like, wow, okay, this is nice. This is really nice. Yeah. And we can still enjoy a coffee on the terrace. And the norm here is 2 meters. It's not 1.5 meters like in Belgium, but the social distance norm is 2 meters. And we've been to a couple of places that even it's 3 meters that you are apart from each other.
Lots of space.
Yeah. So we feel really safe.
Definitely.
Here. Yeah, absolutely.
So let's jump back to the questions because we got a bit behind. Marcelino asks us what our take is on the spiritual conflict between being natural for religious reasons. It's a difficult question because spirituality and especially religion tends to be a bit exclusive. For example, you can only have a certain religion when you do this and this and that. When you go to the church, when you pray several times, when you go to the mosque, stuff like that. Whereas naturism is inclusive. We always say everybody can be a naturist. You don't need any specifics. There's nothing you have to do to be a naturist except be undressing. But that's like, it's a dress code. And even then, most naturists are only naked a fraction of the time. You're a naturist by mind and not by clothes. Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah. I agree.
So, is there a conflict? There probably is, because there are many religions that will say that naturism is not a good thing and not something you do as a devoted religious person. But that's mostly the religious side, unfortunately. From the naturist side, we have in Thailand, we had one dinner with Christians, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, atheists, and probably others.
Yeah, that we don't know of, but yeah.
And at that point, religion didn't matter at all. It's like we were all there, we were enjoying our time. It was a nice place. We were all naked. And we were talking, and they talk about their religion. We talked about
it's
religion.
not that we didn't talk about it, and that was the interesting part of the whole conversation. Is that people just like in naturism in general, people respect each other, and it doesn't really mean don't care that sorry
it's a blooper.
It's a blooper. It doesn't matter what belief you have, because in naturism we just respect each other, and that's most important thing. And yeah.
So we have. What do you think of the fact that naturists have become armchair and keyboard warriors, not stepping forward and confront global issues? It's again a heavy question, but it's a very good question. First of all, we think that it's a good thing that naturists stand out, even if it's just online. When people are talking, they're talking, and there's a difference between talk and action, but there's the good thing is that at least they are talking. They're talking about naturism. But of course, we have been in endless conversations, and one of the big ones is always about the federations, and we are kind of known of questioning naturist federations as well. Although we often admit that they are good, that they are there for a reason, that they do lots of good stuff. And
it depends on which federation,
of course. And but it's also it's very easy just to say bad things about an organization, about the federation, about how things are arranged, but then not take any effort of doing something. It's always easy to complain. And that's a bit the difficulty with social media, but it doesn't really it's not naturism. It's like it's the world in general. People use social media to complain about, like the same thing with COVID. Everybody on Facebook is complaining about COVID. It's like, yeah, do something about it. Stay at home, wash your hands, wear a mask, and then it will go away.
Yeah.
And
or create funny videos like we do.
Or yeah. We try to make people's life a little bit happier.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's absolutely true that more people should stand up, and that's a disadvantage of social media. We believe that lots of people have the feeling that they are standing up, but just by saying that things are not like they should be, and that things should be different, that's not going to change anything. You have to go through, if you want to change anything within naturism, you have to become a member of a federation. You have to become a member of the board of the federations, and that's how you can change things. Just by shouting it on Twitter or on Facebook, yeah, it's not going to work. Somebody asks me in private if I'm planning to grow my mustache as magnificent as the one of Stéphane Deschênes. We actually have an interesting story about that, because lots of people think that my mustache is based on the one of Stéphane, but it's not true.
It's the opposite.
No, it's actually, it's based on the mustache of Blake. From Our Naked Story?
Natural.
Our Natural.
Our Naked Story. Our Natural Story is Seminary, yeah.
He and Liz, his girlfriend, have a great podcast about naturism. It's called Our Naked Story. They are from California, and we met them 2.5 years ago, more or less. And he had like the coolest mustache. And then I thought, okay, I want that one as well.
Yeah.
And it stuck a bit in my head. And then meanwhile, we met Stéphane, and he also had such a cool mustache. And then Movember came, 2018.
Yeah, and Chris was growing his mustache as well at that moment. I remember that.
So I grew my mustache for Movember, and I didn't cut it again.
Yeah.
So that's 2 years. And it's still, I have no idea how Stéphane does that.
No.
This is like, wow, like, it's huge.
It's huge, yeah.
Maybe I need another 10 years or so, but that's the story behind it.
How does it feel being world famous personalities? Wow.
It doesn't really feel like that.
No, and we don't see us as world famous personalities, because
Definitely not.
You have to remember that we started this Naked Wanderings projects just for fun, and it's not that we're of course we're still having fun, but at the beginning of Naked Wanderings we're just like, okay, we missed something, We miss a platform, we miss blogs, we miss information for young people. So we were just writing down our own thoughts and taking fun pictures and everything. And then all of a sudden we were like famous.
Boom.
Yeah.
We
and
were in the
it's still
newspapers.
super weird. Yeah, it's super weird. Sometimes when we are in a resort or on a beach, you see people looking at us and then like, yeah, should I go? Should I not go? Like, hi, hey, yeah. Oh my God, are you Nick and Linz? Yes, hey. It's just, yeah,
it's still
yeah.
it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
We love it when people come to us and talk to us because
absolutely.
I share their thoughts, but it's a weird feeling that just people go, I know who you are, you're Nick and Linz. Like last summer in Belize, we had set up our tent and like we were there like an hour or so, and the person next to us looks at us like, you're Nick and Linz. Like, yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I'm neighbors of Naked Wandering. Like, yeah, cool. Yeah. So
well, it's definitely cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it means that we are accomplishing something.
Yeah,
which
that's
is great.
The most important thing. Yeah, that we get recognized and that we're doing something and that we're bringing naturism into the world, which is really good. Yeah.
John wonders how many languages we speak.
Is that good or not good?
The good thing, one of the advantages we have is that we are from Belgium. So we at school, from school, we are taught trilingual effect. Mm-hmm. We are from the Flemish part, so Dutch is our mother tongue, but we also get lots of French classes at school and English classes. So it makes us trilingual.
Yeah.
And because we have been traveling a lot in South America, we also picked up lots of Spanish. So we are now half fluent in Spanish. Mm-hmm. A couple of years ago, we spent a lot of time in Brazil. And because we already know French and Spanish, it wasn't very difficult to pick up Portuguese.
Brazilian Portuguese. Which is completely different than Portuguese.
That's another story. We got quite good at speaking Portuguese in Brazil. And then we went to Portugal and nobody understood what we were saying.
And we couldn't understand them either. Yeah, I was like, what?
What language is this?
Bom dia, no? Yeah.
And also because we have a Dutch base, it's quite easy for us to understand German and to speak German. Mm-hmm. It's not really real German. We just...
Ein bisschen German.
But it's cool. It makes like 6 languages in which we can make ourselves understandable and which we can more or less understand. So it's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Australia.
We keep getting that question. Yeah. Arnold asks if we have ever been to Australia. Here's the thing. It has been our initial Naked Wanderings plan was to travel from Belgium to Australia without taking a plane.
Overland. And yes, it's possible.
It's possible. Only the
last part.
The last part is very difficult because you have to take a boat from Papua to Australia, and there are not really ferries, so you have to hitchhike on a freighter. But other than that, it's perfectly possible. So that was the plan.
Yeah.
But then
after 3 months, we were in Greece, and then the plan changed.
Yeah, the plan changed. We got into the newspapers. And we, especially when we went to Asia, we started running out of content. We completely miscalculated Asia.
Yeah.
We thought because there are Buddhism and Buddhism is closely related to yoga, and Hinduism, they have naked priests and stuff like that. So we didn't really do a lot of research, and we just figured that nudity would be fine on beaches in Asia, but it definitely is not.
It's not. No.
And about I think a little bit more than a month, we had visited every place we could get naked in all of Asia.
Yeah.
And
then all of a sudden, I don't know, it was like fate or something. I don't know. One of my friends, she called me and she was like, yeah, Linz, I want to do something with my closest friends, blah, blah. And I want to give a party in New York, and I'm paying for your flight tickets, and I'm paying for Nick's flight tickets as well. So we're like, yeah, okay, let's go to New York.
for us, that was the cue to change direction and go to the USA.
Yeah, and then we explored New York and California.
So meanwhile, we have been twice to the whole Naked Wandering trip, which started in the summer of 2017. We have been twice to Mexico, 4 times to France, but we still haven't been to Australia.
So sorry, Arnold, sorry.
And it's really a pity because now Australia is closed, and I hear that it's going to be closed for quite a time to come. So, but when you open again, we definitely want to come to Australia.
Yeah, it's not that we don't want to. That's important. How well can an English-only speaker get along at European nudist spots? That's a question from Ken.
Very well.
Yeah, very well. We always say to people, or we always give the advice to people, just learn little things. Like when you want to go to France, try to say bonjour, ou merci, ou comment ça va. Just little things. It's not only in France, it's just in every country you travel. It makes a huge difference. But English, I think everybody knows.
If you go to Naturist resorts, there will always be somebody at the reception desk who speaks English.
Yeah.
And it's most of all because English is the language we Europeans use when we don't know the other language. So when a Belgian goes to Croatia, we definitely don't speak Croatian, so we speak English.
Yeah.
When a Belgian goes to Spain and he doesn't speak Spanish, they speak English.
Yeah.
To France, the same thing. So at the reception desks, they will always understand English. Of course, as Lynn says, if you want to meet local people, it's always nice to just speak a couple of words. Mm-hmm. We learn, in every country we go, we learn 3 words. It's hello, thank you, and cheers. And it really helps, especially cheers. Especially, it really helps. If you are in a bar and you can say cheers in the local language, especially if it's like a country like Albania or something like where they don't expect any foreigners to know the language, everybody loves you. Yeah, it's a good tip. Yeah. And Gerardo asks if we are going to be to the Zipolite Nudist encounter next month. We are gonna miss it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we know for us. It's possible to get to Mexico, but then we are stuck in Mexico, and at the moment we don't really know how things will change. Which brings us actually to the question Laurent asked half an hour ago or so.
Our plans for
2021. We have no idea what will happen. No. The cool thing is that what we do know is that tomorrow, this crazy year will finally be over.
And it's going to be an awesome year.
The next year is going to be, it's going to be so great. Yeah. It's going to be perfect.
Yeah. But I think I don't think we know that we're going to do a lot of more online events. That we're going to do a lot of more stuff online, but plans, not really.
At the moment, we are waiting in Spain for things to change and to get a little bit of an idea of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
In our minds, with the vaccine has arrived and it's being used right now, we expect that the world will slowly start opening up again around April, May.
Yeah.
Of course, then it will become a political thing. Mm-hmm. Which countries will open up for which countries, and also will a vaccine be required? Mm-hmm. We are the age group that will receive the last vaccines, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because first it's the elderly, then it's the people with jobs in hospitals and in retirement homes, and then it's age groups. So we don't expect to get a vaccine anywhere, I think not even in 2021.
No.
Or maybe just at the end.
We'll see. We don't know.
So
and also, do we need to go back to Belgium to receive a vaccination, or can we do it in another country? Or we don't. I think a lot will depend on the vaccinations. What our plans going to be.
Of course, as Europeans, there's a big chance that just like last year, we will be allowed to travel within Europe. So if we have to guess, there's quite a chance that we will still be in Europe for the summer and for the Naturist season, which is great because we've been to so many places in Europe, and there's still so many other places left.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
We have to be honest, but Europe is still the mecca for naturism. Yeah, if you think about it.
But we do hope that we can, travel further again in 2021.
Yeah.
Last year we were planning to go to Cuba, to Jamaica, to Florida. All those plans were cancelled.
Normally we would be in South Africa.
Normally at this time we would have been we wanted to celebrate New Year's Eve in South Africa. There are lots of nice naturist places. Yeah. We get along very well with the Naturist Federation of South Africa. So it would have been a great experience, but also that got cancelled. So probably
postponed.
Definitely not cancelled. It got postponed. So that's also a plan that we want to move to next year. So for now, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
But we will see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what 2021 will bring us. We are positive, to be honest.
Definitely.
We're really positive. We have to. No, I think everybody needs to be positive.
Yeah, you can just say that the world is bad and it's all a bad thing, but where is that going to bring us?
Yeah.
So we have to stay positive and just wash our hands, wear a mask, take the vaccine if you can, and hope that the numbers will drop and that the world will open up again.
Yeah.
And it's going to be an interesting world, because normally after every pandemic, after every crisis, lots of things change, and often in a good way. Yeah. People's mindset changes. And that's something we are also looking forward to experience. And we definitely think that as of next year, people will start realizing that from one day or another, everything can close down. This is something, if we had told you last year around this time that something could happen that closes down the whole world, you would have never believed us.
No.
And snap, it happened.
Yeah, I don't know if you know the series Black Mirror, but like at the beginning of the whole COVID pandemic, I felt like, oh my God, we are just in a live version of Black Mirror. If you don't know it, Google it. It's great. It's a great series. But I was like, wow, what's happening? It's like a virus is stopping the whole world, like literally everything. It's crazy. And I hope and I do believe that people changed their mindset. Yeah.
And it's also, we see also things happened, like great things. Like the ecological movement has never been able to stop planes from flying, to clear up the sky above big cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Bangkok, Mumbai. And a virus has been able to do that. So people who lived in those cities, they have seen a blue sky for the first time. And I think Mumbai was first time in 40 years that the sky turned blue instead of gray. Like that has to change something in people. I'm
getting goosebumps again. Yeah.
And I do hope that people will remember this. Like the world can be different. And also personally, we have lost contact with lots of people. We have lost human contact, which is so incredibly annoying and sad, that hopefully we will all remember like how great it is to hug somebody, like to feel somebody. Now that we know, that we have learned how it is not to be able to, that we will appreciate human contact, that we will appreciate nature more, and eventually naturism as a red wire in all those things.
Absolutely.
So we definitely hope that naturism will have grown in the last months, and that people will. And there are ideas that look in that direction. People are looking for different experiences right now, and naturism is definitely a different experience. And we hope that people will live more in the now. They won't think as much like, what will everybody think of me when they hear that I've been to a nude beach? But if they see a nude beach, hopefully they will think like, okay, I have to try this, because tomorrow there can be another lockdown, and then I have not been able to try a nude beach.
Yeah, I'm sure that this COVID pandemic created more naturists or nudists, and maybe not in the form like we're used to, but just more in the form of screw it, I'm getting naked. And not see themselves as a nudist or a naturist, which is not bad. Because if you think about it, it's the first step. Just when you take a shower and you come out of the shower and you don't immediately put your clothes back on, and you just walk around your house a little bit more. Are you a nudist? Are you a naturist? Or are you just enjoying to be naked? And I really believe, and I know for sure that that this pandemic created more people just the love of being naked, which is good for everybody, which is good for us, which is good for you, which is good for the federations, for the resorts, for mental health, for everything. Yeah. So maybe there is a positive thing on all of this.
So to get back to the questions, Graham tells us to come back to Canada, and we definitely hope we will one day.
Yeah.
We have the last time we've been to Canada, we visited Ontario and a piece of Quebec, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And now we definitely want to go to the other side, to go to Vancouver.
Yeah.
And Vancouver Island, and see the extreme wildlife. And we also hear that they have quite a lot of nice places there for naturists.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's
could be
definitely
a perfect mix.
Yeah, it's definitely on my bucket list. I want to go canoeing with the orcas. That's definitely on my bucket list.
And Chris,
again, water.
Chris is going to show us where all the moose and the bears are, because that's a joke we kept making when we were in Canada. In Belgium we have this idea of Canada that there are moose and bears everywhere. Like that, every time you walk out of your tent or your cabin or your house, you have to be careful for a bear. We've been in Canada for 6 weeks. I think we haven't seen one moose or one bear.
We're telling you, it's a tourist trap.
So we
listen, it's a tourist trap. There are no moose and no bears in Canada. Tourist trap.
we joked about it, that it's a tourist trap, because in Canada they also sell like very expensive craft beer. It's like, or was it like $10 for a beer or so? So basically they just attract you with the idea of a moose and bear, and then they sell you expensive beer.
Yeah.
That's what Canada does.
Yeah. But still, we want to go there. But still, it's a tourist trap.
Where were we? Marcelino asks us how he can encourage his wife to be more comfortable naturally. It's a tricky thing. I think it's something for you.
It's a thing. Women in naturism and like in events, why we don't see a lot of women in naturism. I think the main reason is because we don't like to talk about it that often, or we don't want to talk about it that often. I think the best step to encourage your partner into feeling herself more comfortable is like the one thing I said. Like if she's taking a shower, encourage her not to put clothes on immediately, or wear a sarong, or just strap something around you. And one of the most important things is that all women, we don't look like the ones on Instagram or on Facebook or on magazines. And it's true. Once as a woman, you've been to a naturist beach or a resort or whatever, you see that you are real, and everybody is real. I'm not saying that when you see the person in real life, but the images that you see, they are not real. And it doesn't matter how you look. And it's true. It's absolutely true. But it's so hard to believe. And I know that. I don't know that from my own experience, because from when I was a little kid, I think I was always a naturist or a nudist. I didn't care about clothes or anything. So I don't know how it is to not feel comfortable with my own body. So in that way, I can't really give some tips in that direction. But yeah, you know what? I'm going to say something else. Let her send a message to Naked Wanderings, and we will chat. We will have a one-on-one private conversation. How about that?
I think that is the best tip.
Yeah.
Because
Let's do that. Really.
Or with Linz, or with other women in naturism, just talk with other women and share experiences, and that's something that really works.
Yeah.
I think British Naturism has what's her name? I forgot her name.
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
Anyway, British Naturism has a program to attract more women in naturism, and with a female coach. And I think also Linda from California is trying to set up a similar program within Naturist. And that's, I believe it's really a way forward, because you can ask 10 men, like when a woman asks us, like, how do I feel more comfortable on social media? It's very common that 10, 15 men will answer. But that's not what a woman wants. She wants advice from other women.
Yeah.
And if you can find other female naturists for your wife to talk to, I think it could be a great step forward.
Really, Marcelino, let her call me. Absolutely. Yeah, let's do that. We'll be happy to talk to her.
And then John asks, when we travel, do we also enjoy seeing interesting or historical places if they are not clothing optional? Definitely not. No, it's a joke.
No, it's a joke. Of course, we love it. We love it. Yeah.
That's something we sometimes struggle with, is that people think that we spend all our days naked, like that we are 24/7 naked. Especially when we're traveling, that's not the case. We've been to so many incredible places. We have been to Thailand. We cannot not go see the temples in Thailand just because we have to wear clothes. Of course, we wear clothes to go see them. We've been to Rio de Janeiro. We've been to the beaches of Rio de Janeiro. They are not clothing optional. So we wear clothes just to see all those great things in the world.
Yeah.
But you don't see those things on our Instagram or our blog. And that's because it's a naturist blog. If we start talking about everything else we do in life, it would become like, then it would be really like the Nick and Lynn's life, the Truman Show, you know.
The Truman Show. Yeah.
So those things you don't really see a lot. We do that sometimes on Instagram. Like if we go to nice places like historical cities, or just have a beer in a bar, we take pictures. But most of the time, of course, you see the things that we do naked, and the resorts and the beaches that we visit. But we do lots of other things as well. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And look at that. SCNA and the Southern California Nudist Association also has women-only events to attract women.
Cool.
That's and that's something. It's really a way forward.
Yeah. Nice. Ralph, maybe you can add the website in the chat or something. That would be helpful.
Juanita asks if we are in touch with the people of Sana from South Africa. We definitely are.
Yeah.
Especially with Lofty, we talk a lot. I think almost on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And we met a couple of other people from the Federation in Portugal 2 years ago at the Congress of the International Naturist Federation. So we definitely have our contacts in South Africa.
Absolutely. Laurent left because he has another event of the Paris Federation. Yeah, it's true. Have fun, Laurent.
But it's 3 minutes before 9. So, and there are no more questions. So I think it's a good time to round up. Yeah. And I think we have another slide.
Yeah, we do. Okay, wait a second.
This process.
Oh no.
This process has to be a little bit more fluently in the future.
Maybe this is a Truman Show.
Okay, so this is one of the most important things for us for 2021. We are planning to do lots more online events, especially for the first months, because it seems like not many people will be traveling and many people will still be at home, still be in lockdowns. So we want to make their lives a little bit more interesting. And we want to bring travel to you.
We did that during our first quarantine in Mexico. I don't know if you remember, but we did something like the virtual resort tours. We asked resorts to make a little video how it is right now, because everything was empty, and it was a huge success. So the resorts asked us like, okay, can we do something different now, because still a lot of people are in lockdown. So we created something like the Naturist resort sessions. We're not going to tell you what it is.
Yeah, but we are.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
Yeah, okay. Check.
It's a way to get to know the people behind the resort. Yeah. And it's because on Naked Wanderings, we tell a lot about the places we visit, but it's also from our point of view, from the visitor. And we figured, like, if there's anybody who knows a lot about naturism, it's people who own naturist resorts. They spend their days between naturists. They spend their days between naked people months in a row.
And they can write books about it.
Yeah. So it's not the goal that they will spend half an hour or an hour promoting their resort.
No, it's not promotional.
We want to talk about them. Of course, we're going to talk about their resort, but also about how their experiences, their views, their visions, how they think that things will change.
The face behind the resort, as we can call it as well. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
we already have 2 Naturist resort sessions confirmed. It's Vasaliki in Greece on January 7th and Lavinia Naturist Resort in Spain on January 14th. And there are probably every week there will be a new one.
Yeah.
And then there's another event, but that's the one we are not going to tell you anything about.
Yeah.
Except that it's Simply Naked.
Simply Naked is on January 8th, same hour as this event?
Yeah. No, an hour later.
An hour later, sorry. Yeah, an hour later. But we will send you an email, and you can find it on our social media as well.
And it's something that has never been done before.
Yeah, it's very exclusive as well. Yeah.
And of course, we like to mention that these events, they are made possible because of the support we get on Patreon. So if you also want to support our events, you can find us on Patreon. It helps us a lot, and it helps us spend lots of more time creating fun stuff like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, stop share. And now we are back.
So it's 9 p.m. in Spain. This means that unfortunately we came to the end of this Q&A. If there's one more question, we can answer it, but I don't think so. So every question is answered.
Yeah.
Hooray, high five.
And of course, if you still have any other questions, you can contact us, send us an email,
send us
a message, you know where to find us. And again, like I said, if you have a friend, a female friend, and she just wants to talk to me, please send her over. I'll be happy to have a conversation with her.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So we hope you enjoyed this. We hope to see you again on one of our next online events.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice time.
Have a great
end of the year.
End of the year. And remember, 2021 will be awesome.
It's going to be amazing. We're looking so much forward to it.
Absolutely.
It's like 27 hours from now.
Yeah. All right.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.